Hello everybody. Today we're going to be looking at the Literacy and Numeracy test for initial teacher education students, LANTITE. We're going to be looking at the numeracy part from questions 40 to 49. It had been requested that I show the answers for 40 or go through the questions and work solutions for 40 to 50, but I've already done 50 in another video. I'll leave the link in the video description. If you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to leave comments below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. Anyways, let's get into it. First question, Bachelor Degree. This graph shows the percentage of males and females aged 25 to 29 years who attained a Bachelor Degree or above in the period 2010 to 2017. And we've got a female line which is in red, and we've got a male line which is in green. And we've got some true or false questions about the graph there. So, first one. In 2017, more than 40% of females aged 25 to 29 years had attained a bachelor degree or above. So let's look at 2017. And I'll do little dots to show the path there. So it says, it's asking about females. So we need to look at the female line, which is that reddish line there. And it's saying, was there 40%? Was there more than 40% that attained a bachelor degree? And there's our 40 line there, which goes all the way up to here, and we're definitely above that. So yes, more than 40 had obtained a bachelor degree. Next question, in 2012, that is 2012, the difference in the percentage of females and males aged 25 to 29 years who had attained a bachelor degree or above was less than 10%. So here's 2012. That line there. So there's a difference between the two of them. Now, this line here is 30, and as we can see, the green is a little bit, if we look in this circled area, the green is above that 30 line. So I'd say, and because this line here is 35 and the next one is 40, I would say that the males, that's about 32% of them got a degree. And the woman's line is, you can see a little bit of grey there, just above the line, which means that's the 40 line. So they're just below 40. So we'll get rid of that. We'll say they're 39%. So obviously the difference from one to the other is going to be less than 10%. It's only 7% by my guess. But we could also tell this by, as we can see, from 20 to 10, you've got two rectangles there. The gap between them would have to be 2 whole blocks for it to be at least 10%. As we can see, this is not 2 whole blocks. 2 whole blocks is from here to there. But as we can see, the green line is a bit higher than that, and the red line is a little bit below. It's probably made that much clearer when we don't have my ink in the way. So if we just clear there, we can see it's a little bit clearer there. It's not all the way from here to there. Not all the way. It's a little bit less. So yes, the answer for the first two are both true. For question 41, we've got an Excel spreadsheet. Semester 1, a teacher's given 4 assessments, 2 tests and 2 projects, and the spreadsheet shows the marks obtained by the students. It also, over here in the blue, in case people are not familiar with Excel, it says about how to use this information and how to read or know what is the name of the cell that's got certain information in it. So it says that John is in cell 2 because the word John is in the column A. So everything going downwards is A, and row 2, everything going sideways is 2. So for example, this 16, that is in B2. I don't know why my laptop does this. Anyways, onwards we go. It says, which cells would the teacher use to calculate John's total score on the tests? So we need to only look at tests. So there's test, there's test. So we've got one of them, which we'd already figured out, is B2. So we'll write that down. B2 is for test 1. And the next one, over here, test, is D2. D and on that same row 2. So B2 and D2, where the test scores are. So if we have a look at our options, it's not the first one because that mentions C2 and E2, which are where projects are. So that is no good. No C's and no E's. It's definitely not the top one. It's definitely not B2, B3, B4, B5, because that actually B3 will be Katie's score and B4 is Elena's score, B4 is Elena's score and Jack's score, so that one's definitely no good. B2 and D2, that is the right answer, that's the one we want. And D2 and E2, E2 is actually a project score, which again is not what we want. So the answer there was C, 41C, B2 and D2. Easy enough despite all my terrible annotations. Question 42. A teacher plans to order at least 500 dice for the school equipment store. The best price teacher can find is 72 dice at nearly $20 per container. Complete the order form so that the required number of dice are ordered for the least cost. So you can get 72 dice for about $20. And if you know your times tables well, 7 times 7 equals 49, and hence 7 lots of 70 will be 490. It's getting very close to 500. So it gives us an idea of roughly how many lots of 72 we need to get to 500. And remember, you need at least 500. At least 500. So we can't be going a little bit less. So the first thing we can do is go 500, get our official answer, even though we've got our estimate up there already. We go 500 divided by 72. And I'll chuck that into my trusty calculator. $500 divided by 72. And we've got the answer almost 7, so we need to change that to 7 because we need at least 500. 6.9 lots of 72 will not be enough. We need 7 lots to get over 500. So we need to get 7 is our answer. And then we need to get the price. 7 times 19.95. And just a fairly basic thing, 7 times $20 is just 7 times 2, which is 14. But we have to add our 0 on the end there. 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 20 is 140. And then we need to take off 7 lots of 5 cents, because that is what the difference is between it being $19.95 and $20. So 7 times 5 is 35 cents. $140, take your 35 cents, will be $139.65. This can just be confirmed in calculator. So we're doing 7 times 19.95. So 7 times 19.95, 139.65. Just like I said, 139.65. There's the answer for 42. Fuel consumption. The amount of fuel that cars use to travel a distance is called their fuel consumption and is measured in litres per 100 kilometres. So how many litres of fuel they use for every 100 kilometres that they drive. A particular SUV car has a fuel consumption of 6 litres per 100 kilometres and a fuel tank size of 57 litres. How many litres of fuel does an SUV use to travel 350 kilometres? Now this is just ratios. We use 6 litres for every 100 kilometres. We want to know how much for 350 kilometres. Now, you just need to do it in terms of multiplication. So to go from 100 to 350, you have to multiply by 3.5. Okay? It's just like from going 1 to 3.5, you multiply by 3.5 to go from 100 to 350, you're multiplying by 3.5. This can again be confirmed in a calculator. To go this direction, what do you have to do? Divide 350 by 100. You just put it in, 350 divided by 100, 3.5. So because the difference between those two in terms of multiplication is 3.5, and that's also what needs to happen the other way around over here. So if we're going 3.5 times as much distance, this is multiplied by 3.5 to go in that direction. This has to multiply by 3.5. 3 sixes are 18, half of 6 is 3, add your 18 plus your 3, and that is 21. And again, that is confirmed by calculator. 6 times 3.5, 6 times 3.5 equals 21. So there's our answer. We will use 21 litres of fuel to do 350 kilometres. Using that same information, we've got a further question. Which distance is closest to the maximum distance that the SUV can travel on one full tank of fuel? So we use 6 litres per 100. And we've got a total of 57 litres. So we have to look to see how many lots of 6 fit into 57, and therefore that will tell us how many lots of 100 there will be as our total maximum fuel consumption. So I'm going to do 57 divided by 6. That way I'll know how many lots of 100 we'll be able to fit in. So let's have a look at that with the calculator. Actually, I'll do my short division first. We can confirm with calculator. 6 into 5, no good. 6 into 57, I know that 9 times 6 is 54. So that's 9. And I'll do my little zeros over here. 6 times 9 is 54. Well, that means 3 remainders. 6 into 30. Oh, won't let me do a 3. 6 into 30 is 5. So 9.5 is our answer. Again, confirm on calculator. 57 divided by 6. 9.5. The reason I didn't continue, by the way, because it fit in perfectly, which means we had 0 remainders, and then you would just have your zeros going forever after that. So 9.5, we can have 9.5 lots of 6 litres before we've used up all our fuel. So I'll write 9.5. I've had to multiply by 9.5 to go from 6 to 5.7. So we need to multiply by 9.5. There's my big dot. Try to do a big dot. 9.5 to go from 100 to the total. Hopefully you'll know that whenever you multiply anything by something like 100, you move the decimal place a couple across, because you multiply something by, let's say if we've got the number 80, let's say we had the number 8.5. If you multiply it by 1, it's just 8.5. If you multiply it by 10, it moves across once to make it 85. And if you multiply it by 100, you end up moving the decimal place again to make it 850. So 100 times 9.5 is 950. Decimal place moves once there and once there. 950. So that is the answer we are looking for. Next question. This is a plan of a classroom. It shows the direction of north to the left instead of what is normally to the right. The teacher's table is located in the front corner of the classroom. Here it is. 4 students sit at each of the 6 tables as shown. Below are some statements about the plan. Click on true or false for each. The door is located near the southeast of the classroom. So here's our door. Now we know never eat soggy Weet-Bix. That's one way to remember it. Now because north is facing to the left, we then need to make sure that our compass reflects this. Never eat soggy Weet-Bix. So this is our true compass. So let's be looking at that. So southeast will be in between these two. And if you have a look, that's exactly where the door is. So yes, it is in the southeast corner. That is true. Now, the second part, looking from the teacher's table. So from the teacher's table, facing the back of the room. So whiteboard will be at the front of the room, which means we're facing down towards the back of the room. The computers are in the back right-hand corner of the classroom. Now, obviously, right is this way, left is that way. However, that's when you're looking upwards. So this would be the right side, this would be the left if you're looking upwards. But because we are looking downwards, then it's opposite. So this is actually really the left, and this is actually really the right when you're looking downwards. So based on that, in the back right-hand corner, are there computers? No, there is not. There is in fact a bookcase and not computers. So it is false that if you look at the back right-hand corner of the room from the teacher's table, that you will see computers. It is false. Okay, now this one's getting a little bit tricky, a little bit more to look at. So I'm first going to look at the question and then see where we can find this information. So the question is, for which jurisdiction were the scores of at least 95% of Year 3 students above Band 2 for reading? So we need to find something that is talking about Band 2 for reading and 95%. As we can see over here, it mentions something about 95%, and then it's got some bands that are equivalent to it. And we need to actually look at certain states, so we're obviously needing to look at this one up here. Okay? But first, let's have a look. We want to see at least 95%. So at least 95% were above Band 2. So it is saying that 95% of students are, so it says the top, so this is saying the top 5% are up here, so it's above this line of the dark orange, the top of the dark orange. The bottom 5% are below the bottom orange, and then everybody else is in the middle 90% of people. But it's saying scores of at least 95% above Band 2. So we're looking here at Band 2, and 95% means that because I had said that this is the bottom 5%, so this is the bottom 5%, I should write that. Bottom 5% is below the bottom dark orange. Because of that, we need to make sure that because that is the bottom one, we need to make sure that, sorry, I'm just plugging in my laptop. There we go. You need to make sure that the entirety of that dark orange block is going to be above Band 2 to make sure that that top 95%, so that top 95% is those 4 orange blocks of the 2 dark orange, the 2 light orange, and the hidden 5%, which is above the top dark orange. All of that needs to be above Band 2. That's what the question is asking. That at least 95% of the students were above Band 2. So if you have a look, let's say at New South Wales, which is our first option. Band 2 is here, so it's in this light, very light blue area. We can see that part of the New South Wales bottom of their orange block is within that very light blue area, which means not all of the 95% that is shown will be, because remember we've got our invisible top 5% up here, not all of that 95% will be up at least above Band 2. So we need to find the block that doesn't go into this light coloured area at all. So as we can see, Victoria is not the right answer either. So no to New South Wales, no to Victoria. If we go to Queensland, that's definitely within the block as well, so no to that one. Our only option left is ACT, and ACT is the right answer, because we can see that in this light coloured area, there is no data there. 95% of them are above Band 2. So that is the best state or territory for reading, and that is a correct answer. Now it asks, how many jurisdictions were the scores of at least 20% of Year 3 students at Band 6 or above? Now, we have already deduced that this is our top 5%, top 5. So that's above 95th percentile. Here is our bottom 5, and this line here is indicating that 20% of students are below this. So this is your bottom 20% to bottom 5%. That is in there. From 20 to 5%, and then the worst 5% are below the orange. So when it's asking were the scores of at least 20% of students above 6, it's now talking about the other end of it. Here's our top 20% from this line and above, because this is 20th percentile, bottom 20% of students. 80th percentile means that 80% of students are worse. 100 take 80, of course, is 20. So our top 20% are in dark orange and above. So it's asking how many of the Year 3 students were in Band 6, top 20%, Band 6 and above. So let's have a look. We need the entirety of top orange block to be in this light coloured area for Band 6 and above. For New South Wales, we can see that it is all in there. For Victoria, we can see that it's all in there. And this is what I mean by all in there. Here's our entire orange block, and it's completely within this light area. Okay? Queensland, all in there. WA, all in there. South Australia, all in there. Tasmania, all in there. So the main thing I'm looking at is this bottom line there. If that bottom line crosses over into the dark, then it's no good. ACT, obviously all in there. Northern Territory. Now, as we can see, this line here has gone into the darker blue color. So that is not a jurisdiction that has 20% of students, the top 20% of students above Band 6. So that means we need to count the other jurisdictions. Australia is not a jurisdiction, that's just the average of all of them. Remember, there's 8 jurisdictions to choose from. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So because we're missing 1, we've got the other 7. 7 jurisdictions is our answer. Question 48. ATAR. This is an incomplete cumulative frequency table of ATAR scores for the 80 students at a school. 2 percentages are missing from the table. Thank you for that. Here are 2 percentages that are missing, in there and in here. Below are some statements about the table. Click on true or false or not possible to determine. It says the median ATAR score is in the range 70 to 79.99. Now, first thing that we've got to look at is understanding what cumulative percentage means. What it is talking about is how much in a row and then encompassing the adjacent rows in a certain direction. So in this way that it's doing it, I know that sounds very wordy, but it's not as complicated as what it may sound. So we're talking about 90 or above, the best students. How many got 90 or above? 13%. And it's saying cumulatively, so it's saying from every row above it, and including this one, we get a total of 13%. For the next one, we're actually adding 2 different amounts. These 2 amounts. Ignore that thing that I've got there. So it is the cumulative number, which means we're adding something else on. We're adding on the 13 and the 18. So this is now saying how many students got 80 or above. So that number means 80 or above, as we can see from here, 80. But this number here is just from 80 to 89.99. So of course you're going to have more that are, well, you're likely to have more that are 80 and above compared to 80 to 89.99. So just to confirm that, 80 to 89.99, we have 18%. The ones that are 80 and above, though, is our 13 plus our 18, which is our 31. So that's how that works. Now when we actually look at answering the question, it's asking about median ATAR score. Now, median ATAR score, because we've got 80 students, the median of an even number is halfway between the two middle numbers when you divide by 2. So if you divide 80 by 2, 80 divided by 2, you get 40. And the median number will be between, you have to round up of sorts. 40 and 41 will be the median numbers. It's a little bit different to an odd number. If you've got 7, an odd number of 7 is simply the one that's equal in distance either way, which is obviously going to be the number 4. But anyways, I'm going to get rid of some of this because this is all a little bit of a mess. So let's erase all ink on this slide. So we've established that the median is going to be the students that are at the 40 or 41st best student. That's what we've established. So let's see where that would be. So obviously 40 and 41 is about 50%. Now this says here that the cumulative percentage, 53% of students, is the total that got 70 or above. Because this is obviously at 50% and 53 is just greater than that, that means that the top 50% will be in that section, as will the top 51%, the top 52%, the top 53%. I have no idea why it's doing this. There we go. So what this means is that there's no doubt that the middle values there will be in this section, 70 to 79.99. So what you got to just understand what this is trying to tell you. 53% is the addition of all these. 78% is the addition of all these. 88% is going to be the 5. Because all that we're really doing to establish these cumulative percentage numbers is getting this number here and then adding that one to get that. 13 plus 18 is 31. Then for the next one, you've got 31 plus 22 equals 53. And then for the next one, it is 53 plus 25 equals 78. That's all that's happening. But anyways, because we've already established where the 53% is, the top 53%, the top 53% of students got 70 and above. We know that the number 50 has to be in between the 31 and the 53. They didn't get 80 or above. Only the top 31% of students got that. So only the top 31 got 80 plus, greater than 80. But the ones that got greater than 70 was the top 53%. So in that 22% that got in the 70s, that includes the number 50. In that 22, oh God, that 22 that take you from 31 to 53. Now, that means that one is true. It's a little bit of a trickier question, but it's just about understanding what cumulative percentage means. It just means it's adding up. It's like a running total, and hence why it ends up being 100%, because 100% of students is encompassing every row. Let's just go to the next question. But please feel free to add comments and I can do a separate video for this question, because this question is definitely, it's easy enough, but it's a little bit more complex to explain. 78% of the students achieved an ATAR score greater than or equal to 50. There's our 78%. But if we looked at the ones that got 50 or higher, it's 50 or higher is 88%. So when it says 78% of students achieved an ATAR score of 50 or higher, it is true that they got at least that high. They actually got 60, but yes, it's just strictly asking, if you grab the top 78% of students, did they get more than 50? Yes, they did. Did they get more than 55? They did that too. So yes, it's true. It's not as precise as what it could be, but it is certainly true. We obviously wouldn't be able to answer that the other way around. You wouldn't be able to say 88. Did 88% get more than 60? No, they didn't. But that's not what it's asking, obviously. Now, the bottom one is an interesting one, a very easy one. It might look complicated. The lowest ATAR score was 30. Now, we do have a percentage of people, assumably, that got less than 40, but we have no indication of how much less than 40 they got. Maybe they got 39, maybe they got 2, we don't know. So it's not actually possible to determine exactly what score it was. What we would have been able to tell is if we add all these up and it doesn't equal 100, that means that there must be some that got something less than 40. So the lowest score can't be 45, it has to be less than 40, but we don't know what it is, and we can't determine it. Last question. Part of the original table is duplicated here. Complete the missing percentages. So remember the patterns that we need to be able to get the numbers? 13 is 13 plus 0 equals 13. 13 plus 18 equals 31. 31 plus 22 equals 53. 53 plus 25 equals 78. 78 plus 10 is 88. 88 plus 8 equals 96. 96 plus something equals 100. Easy enough. You needed $100, you had 96, you needed another $4. So, cumulative percentage, 96 is our answer there, and 4 is our answer here. So there's the questions from 40 to 49. Please give comments if you want me to redo them or to do a similar example with different numbers. I'll be happy to do so, because these are certainly a little bit more wordy questions than some of the earlier ones, and the maths isn't difficult, it's just probably a little bit strange. It's things that, we're probably not going to look at a lot. I've worked a lot with Excel in the past and things like this, so for me, I've seen it a million times before, but obviously not everybody's going to be like this, nor would I expect most people to be like this. So yes, please feel free to leave comments if you'd like me to go through any more questions or similar questions. And yeah, thanks for your time and thanks for your patience. There's been a few technical concerns, but hopefully this was helpful to you all. Thank you so much for your time.